Intrepid Grace. What does it mean? And why is it the name of this collection? Intrepid Grace is a collection inspired by my love of exploring with maps, made for an adventurous and elegant girl. Intrepid, meaning fearless in adventure, describes how I feel when exploring, and the word grace is one that I associate with old Hollywood glamour, my love of which also heavily inspired these designs. This collection aims to capture the excitement of exploration through colour and cuts, and the elegance of old Hollywood style through silhouette and fit. Intrepid Grace's consumer is a young, bold spirit who dresses stylishly for everyday activities. She is inspired by vintage fashion and has a passion for adventure and travel. The colour palette for this collection was inspired by the view from the top of a mountain or hill during a sunset. This moment during an adventure is one of the most exciting, and I wanted to capture just a glimpse of the beauty of the skies and scenery that I see when I'm exploring. For fabrics, I decided to use boiled wool, organic bamboo silk lining, silk chiffon, and crepeback silk because I wanted my collection to have a luxury feel to it, to make the wearer feel incredibly beautiful. These fabrics are made with natural fibres that will biodegrade at the end of the product life cycle, something that is very important to me and to the planet, and a step towards achieving a more sustainable future for the fashion industry. The Intrepid Grace garments are all inspired particularly by contour lines, the curvy lines that track points of the same height on a map. I wanted to capture the curvy nature of contour lines, and so decided to try to incorporate this as a design feature. To learn more about how to cut curvy lines into fitted bodices effectively, I investigated transformational reconstruction, a technique used by pattern cutter Shingo Sato. I was inspired by the way he used pattern cutting to achieve curvy line design features, so I tested this with sampling and later incorporated it into one of my final designs. To represent the contour lines, I experimented with silhouettes from old Hollywood glamour dresses on a mini mannequin, and accentuated and distorted silhouettes to create an almost bumpy silhouette like the one in this video. Some of these silhouettes were more successful than others, and informed final designs later in the project. Another feature of my final designs was flounces. I used these to represent the more complex contour lines that couldn't be adequately represented by paneling or silhouettes, and played around with stiffness to create a balance of strength and delicacy. Finally, I used curved edges and hems to represent contour lines which are close together, creating a layered effect that echoes the purpose of the contour maps themselves. To develop my collection, I first draped contour map shapes onto the stand and played around with positioning. I then collaged the most successful silhouettes with classic old Hollywood style dresses to play around with proportion and shape. After that, I drew on top of these collages to investigate scene positioning and silhouette, and selected a few key ideas to take forward for development in the final lineup. Finally, I again drew over these designs, starting to add features such as pockets or fastenings and making the designs more realistic to the drape and fit they would have in my chosen fabrics. Once I had finalised these designs, I applied colour and ensured that the outfits all sat well together as a whole collection. Here are a couple of pictures of toiles of garments from the collection, showing all the ways I conveyed the contour line effect and the silhouettes created using the mini mannequin.